What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's Netflix original movie review of Red Notice. This film is directed by Rawson Thurber. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell to top the fun that's coming next. If you like any of these videos, awesome, hit that like button, as well as comment below on any video to watch, including this one. So, touted as the most expensive Netflix ever made thanks to the paychecks of Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, this film is a basically national treasure style film where it sees the character played by Dwayne Johnson, who is an FBI agent. He goes after this character played by, of course, Ryan Reynolds, who's a thief of some sort, and he ends up, Dwayne Johnson ends up getting his record erased and kind of, basically thrown into the mix with Ryan Reynolds, who is after these eggs called the Cleopatra eggs, which are these very famous, well-known, there's 3 of them, one's missing, which becomes a MacGuffin, very valuable things that one collector wants for his daughter. So in the process of everything, you have Gal Gadot, who plays a character known as the Bishop, and she's also doing the same thing Ryan Reynolds is, which is trying to make money and wealth. Well, as you expect from these types of films, there's adventure, there's action, there's deceit, there's twists and turns, and there's all kinds of crazy scenarios that, of course, only Ryan Reynolds can do with his comedy and quips, and there's scenarios that only Dwayne Johnson can do with his muscle, and there's, of course, scenarios, with only the character like Gal Gadot plays, and so on and so forth. So it's like a running joke about like what would happen if Black Adam, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman went on a cosmic quest to do, for the same exact thing. So, like I said earlier, this movie is touted as Netflix's biggest budget, most expensive movie ever. I would guess that they budgeted around $250 million. But a lot of that going to the principal actors, just based on what I see in this movie. It's a movie that has a director that's very much a go-to guy for Dwayne Johnson, which is cool. I like to see Dwayne Johnson and like Adam Sandler have their rotating, circle of directors, because it gives them, jobs and, money and so on and so forth. So I don't really have any problem with that, but Rawson Thurber has gotten to a point where he just kind of brings the films in on time and in on budget. He really just allows the actors to do whatever they want to do, and I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, but it is what it is. He's making a paycheck. But the thing about this movie that I was honestly and truly expecting is it to be really not a very entertaining or interesting film. I expected it to be a very diversion type film where it keeps you entertained for 2 hours, but once the movie is over, there's not really much you even think about after that. You just go, oh, I watched another Dwayne Johnson movie, or I watched another Ryan Reynolds or Gal Gadot movie, and you don't really remember what film it is because they're so half done, does another, whatever you want to call it. And as for this review, I got exactly what I was expecting out of it. I didn't, I was entertained for 2 hours, but there's nothing in this movie that's going to make me remember this film. They'll probably make a sequel because it'll be one of the highest rated, Netflix movies of all time, just based on who's in the movie. It'll have action that, people enjoy, and people go, this is the greatest movie ever, but I don't know. I just think I'm at a point where I think Netflix's record with making movies is just they're throwing money at all these, directors and writers and actors, but they're not really getting quality material at it. For every Irishman, there's like 6 other films that are really terrible, and I think at this point, I expect terribleness out of these films, and that's what this movie is. Red Notice and Six Underground and all these films, they're just bland action films that have no real substance or style or enjoyment. They're just there to entertain you for 2 hours and just kind of move on to the next thing that Netflix presents. And I get it. I get they want, to have these 3 actors in this movie because they will gain viewership and stuff like that. But I just want more. I really do. Like, the action in this movie is so bland and so silly and, not very well shot and not very well done and presented. There's points where, of course, Ryan Reynolds and, Dwayne Johnson are fighting and kicking butt and the bad guys are being taken down left and right. There's points where Gal Gadot is using her attractiveness to, swoon to guys and stuff like that. And it's just like, do something different. For the love of God, do something different. I don't know, man. I want more out of these. I want more out of these 3 actors. I really do. I think they're very talented individuals that have a lot of charisma among them. And we see Ryan Reynolds come through the schlock that he's done to become like Deadpool and stuff like that. But I think in the end, this is not a film I truly recommend. It's not going to be the most abysmal film you've ever watched, but it's not a film that I'm going to remember, as, Jeremy John says, it's not going to be a film that I remember in like a day or something like that. And I think when everything's said and done, it's just going to be another film on Netflix that is, you're watching on a Saturday morning in a rainstorm. You're like, oh, there's a movie I can watch, somewhat entertaining. And then you'll go on with your day after watching it. So With that said, that is going to be my take on Red Notice. I wish I could be more positive, but I found nothing redeeming or interesting about this film. So, with that said, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, let me know what you think of this film when you decide to watch it. You know, I'm sure you're going to watch it on Netflix. Were you entertained? Were you going to remember this film after you watched it? What was your overall feeling? All that good stuff. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. And if you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.